Storytelling Edition car driving series. So there's this guy, his name's Gerald, and Gerald grew up in this house, and Gerald loves grass. And Gerald loves grass so much that when he was a little kid, he just loved to look at it. He looked at the grass, it was so pretty. And Gerald says, I love the grass. I said, I love the grass. And he goes to his parents, he says, I love the grass, I want to eat it. I want to eat it real, real bad. But his parents said, no, Gerald, you cannot eat the grass, because the grass is grass, and you cannot eat the grass. And Gerald says, well, I'm going to eat it. And his parents say, no, you ain't going to eat it. You ain't going to eat my grass. You ain't going to go in the yard and eat my grass. And Gerald says, yes, I am. Yes, I am, because I'm a person, and I like to eat grass. Well, his parents said, Gerald, you hear me right now? You hear me right now, Gerald? Because I got something to say to you, Gerald, you can eat the cow, Gerald, you can eat the cow, Gerald, you got that? You can eat the cow. The cows graze all on the grass, grazing grass cows. Then you can eat the cow, and you can think about how you're supposed to eat the grass, okay? And then you can drink the milk, and you can imagine you're drinking milk. You can imagine you're drinking grass. Isn't that cool? You make a smoothie out of grass, but it turns white, because that's what the milk looks like. And Dad says, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Mom, Dad, I'm going to do that. And then you know what he does? You know what Dad does? From a little time, he's a little boy, he eats the grass, and then he eats the grass. No, he doesn't eat the grass, but he eats the cow. He eats the cow meat, and then he drinks the cow milk. And then every time he eats the cow meat, he thinks that I'm eating a big patty, a big grass patty. And then you know what he does? He drinks the milk, and he says, I'm drinking grass smoothie, and I'm getting all covered in it, all in my insides. Oh yeah. And Gerald's just a little kid. He's like, I'm just a little kid. Anyways, Gerald grows up. He grows up like we do, and I do, and you did, and we are. And now Gerald's growing up, and now he's a teenager. He gets a job. He's working for a school district, ISD 197. Whoop! And then he mows the grass. He mows the grass, and then he cuts the grass, and every time he cuts it, he thinks, this smells so delicious. This smells so delicious. Look at that green grass. I love it, like my mother. And Gerald cuts the grass, and every day after work he collects all the clippings, and Gerald brings all the clippings into a giant silo in the middle of nowhere. And Gerald covers, he puts it all up in piles in the silo, and he has all these piles, hundreds and hundreds of piles of green grass that was once cut, and now it's just been sitting in the silo for months and years, and he piles them up all so high, each a new pile for a new day, a new week of a new year even. And then you know what he does? You know what Gerald does? Gerald takes notes about how pretty that grass is, and how the decay of the grass occurs over time. So he's creating a little dictionary, a little appendix of what happens over time. And so Gerald says, I know what happens in the texture of this here grass when it turns a different color. And that's what Gerald does. And you know what he did then? One day, Gerald came back from work, and he decided that he would start planting himself in the soil. Because Gerald is a man now. And men speak like this. And Gerald decides, I want to be one with the grass. And so Gerald starts digging holes in his backyard. He digs a hole in the shape of his head in his upper body. And Gerald starts planting himself upside down every day after work for a matter of just a few hours. Now Gerald keeps doing this night after night, each day after he's done cutting the grass and collecting the clippings. And Gerald plants himself upside down, as if he's doing a handstand, but his head is submerged underneath the ground into the soil. Each day he digs a new hole and tries to plant himself. One day Gerald's brain sprouts roots into the soil when he's inverted upside down, standing on his head in the soil in his backyard after collecting the grass clippings from work of that day. Now Gerald's feet start sprouting small sprouts of grass, and eventually those sprouts go really tall, so tall, that all of the grass grows straight up around Gerald, all around his body, around his chest, and the grass sprouts up from the roots that were sourced from his brain that went into the soil and then sprouted up little grass seedlings. And then those seedlings grew up around Gerald to make a giant stalk of grass, many stalks of grass, all encompassing Gerald. And Gerald is now grass, and Gerald is grassy grass, and grass covers his entire body, and he's a 15-foot tall strand of grass, and there's 15 million strands of grass right around him, covering him all up, and now Gerald's feet is grass, and Gerald turns to grass, and now Gerald is grass. And that's what Gerald always wanted from the time he was a little boy, but he could never have it because he was a human, and now he's grass. But his parents are sad, so sad, but Gerald's so happy.